Our final presentation for this evening bears the title, Films of Proselytization, the Enigma of Evangelism in Cinema. Please welcome Tristen Rodriguez.
All right. I'd like to introduce to you my friend, a film that has been praised to the high heavens, a film that has been loved by audiences across the Great Plains of America, but a film that has been criminally undermined by critics. What film is this? Crash? No, it's not 2006 anymore. What film are you referring to then? Well, I'm referring to God's Not Dead, of course. Yeah, I heard interesting things about that film when it came out. Well, of course you did. God's Not Dead is an amazing film. The plot is so heartwarming and the acting is so genuine, it could change your life. All right, I'll go watch it, and when I come back, we'll talk about it. So, the soon-to-be convert returns after watching the film, and he opens up the conversation with this. Let's just say I wasn't surprised. What were you surprised about? The film as a whole, it just fell flat on itself way too many times. But don't get me wrong, though. It is pretty funny. Oh, okay, hold on, man. Don't be like that. No, when you give it a good look, you can see its flaws. The plot is overblown to unrealistic proportions. The acting is subpar at best. And the writing is overtly preachy. No way. I stand behind the fact that God's Not Dead and other films like it are necessary to fight the good fight. Look, don't hide behind your Christian facade. You need to train before you can step into the ring. So, naturally, one side believes that God's Not Dead is a life-changing classic, and the other believes quite the opposite. So who's right? The film fan or the message follower? Since the release of The Passion of the Christ, the Christian film industry has seen a renaissance of evangelistic films, especially since the establishment of production companies such as PureFlix and Sherwood Pictures. While this is good that Christians are now being noticed in the film industry, there is a segregation between quality and quantity, and it shows which is king. However, fortunately, evangelistic films have not lost all hope. They can be saved. So although many Christians believe that evangelistic films are life-changingly great films due to the furthering of the gospel and the emboldenment of faith, these films fail to be worthy because they do not fulfill Aristotle's 6 component parts, which is necessary for creating beautiful films. So long ago, Aristotle wrote the book called The Poetics, in which he offers a classic explanation on how to create good plays. In this, he establishes the 6 component parts, which include diction, lyric poetry, plot, character, reasoning, and spectacle. Now, what is the correlation between filmmaking, you may ask? Well, it's fairly simple. When you go watch a play, you sit down and you watch a plot unravel before your eyes through the use of characters. These characters are written with particular diction or dialogue. Following are the reasons as to why these characters enact on certain actions in the play, which arises questions of why did the character do this, why did they do that, and other questions of the like. The other 2, spectacle, is concerned with the stage design or production design and costume design of the play. And lyric poetry is concerned with the musical aspect of the play. In comparison to filmmaking, it is easy to see the first 4 as a nice interwoven interaction between plays and filmmaking, while the other two, it's not as cut and dry. However, regardless, with spectacle in filmmaking, you have cinematography, you have editing, production design, costume design, and other things like that. And lyric poetry has its gap bridged by film scores and soundtracks. So bringing it back to God's Not Dead, why is it so poor? I mean, if it's not the good intentions of the filmmakers or the good messages they inject in the film, what makes it so bad? First glaring issue, the plot. The plot is quite reliant on a minor interaction that could occur in any university across the country, which is a Christian college kid who was challenged by his atheist professor who was adamant on God being dead. However, God's Not Dead manages to dilute this event into a full-length feature film with instances in which Christians are being oppressed by our so-called enemies, which are portrayed as Muslims and atheists in the film. And on top of that, the film also jumps from subplot to subplot, ultimately convoluting the film and showing a lack of structure from the director. Another major problem are the characters. The characters are written in such a fashion that they only fulfill one purpose, and that purpose is to fulfill their stereotype. There are two types of characters. There are the anti-Christians and the Christians. So, as a whole, God's Not Dead manages to alienate the audience in which we and the Christian filmmakers are trying to reach, which are the enemies of Christianity. So, what may be a film that does fulfill the criteria? Well, luckily for us, there exists such a film. One of that is Silence, directed by Martin Scorsese, which follows two Portuguese priests in the 17th century going to Japan to catch up on the underground Christian movement. Through the use of captivating cinematography, cautious yet cathartic performances, a sublime score, perfect pacing, and a realistic plot, the amalgamation of all these things come together, and it invites the audience to think about the implications of the gospel, and it shows all and tells none to us as an audience. So, why does this matter? Why should we care about beauty? Why should we care about beauty in film? Why should we care about such things? Well, it's fairly simple. When we create art as Christians, we should be creating art that is beautiful. And when it is beautiful, it is glorifying God. And in this case, using Aristotle's 6 component parts as a standard to reach that beauty in filmmaking, it is easily accessible by filmmakers. And we all know that God is objective beauty. He is objectively beautiful. And in creating us, the most beautiful creature in the universe, when we create beautiful art, only then are we glorifying God, and we are truly showing His beauty. And only then are we truly evangelizing to the other side. Thank you.